What's up? Good morning. I'm live. Good morning. Happy Tuesday. Tardy Tuesday. I decided to sleep a little later, and I still thought I would be able to get on time. I was wrong. Computer was a little slow. I was coming up with thumbnail for today's topic. So that's why I'm late. What's up? Jenny is with us. Good morning, Hobby World. I feel bad saying that. I'm stealing Herman's thunder. Turkey Cards, what's up? Good morning. Safe at home. Good morning, Ed, Scott, Rich. Good morning. Good morning to you, Rich. Good morning, fellow hobby friends. Pleasure to be here. What's up, Zach and Porter? Rich, what's for breakfast? Jenny asks. Dan is with us. Johnny Boy Cards, TD Sports Cards, Boom Slang. What is up? Good morning. Happy Tuesday. Did a little yard work yesterday. It's going to be a busy week, and I think I alluded to that because I wanted to get my dollar box video published, which if you haven't seen it, the greatest dollar box I've ever dug through, that video is up. Did that on Sunday night, so check out my dollar box. In fact, I had two people who hit that dollar box before me. One reached out and said, "Hey, I was the guy in front of you," and he pulled out like 100 because he was paying as I was, he was right next to me digging, and I think he had 125 cards out of that dollar box, and he told me some of what he pulled, and I'm like, damn, I should have got there a little earlier. Somebody else reached out to me on Instagram, and they're like, I was at that table in the morning and pulled a couple hundred cards out of those dollar boxes. So I'm going to have to get there earlier next month because my dealers said that they would, they've got a whole bunch more, so they'll be bringing more back. So if you were at the Madison Card Show digging through those dollar boxes, I can only imagine what was in there before me. The Willie Mays sold. Somebody mentioned, I think during the video. So spoiler alert, if you haven't watched the dollar box video, I think the best card I pulled could be actually that Michael Jordan LeBron James 2003 Upper Deck insert. Comps out at around $50. So I listed it in my store for $50. But the Willie Mays I put up for $40 or best offer. Somebody in the live chat on Sunday said, if you put that in your eBay store for $35, it'll probably sell in 10 minutes. So I'm like, okay. And I looked it up and I went $40 or best offer. And it sold at $40 in a couple hours. So the Willie Mays sold. So I think I paid 80. I pulled 85 cards, paid 80. Sold one card for $40. The Wayne Selden I sold to another dealer who I should have reached out to Sean, who came in from Kansas City. He messaged me. He's like, hey, I'm a buyer for that Selden. And I'm like, I have no idea what it's worth. It's of 25. There's nothing else on eBay. No solds. I've got it up for $20. I'll give it to you for 10. And he's like, sold. Just hang on to it, and it'll give me motivation to set up at your July show. So that's $50. I think the Conseco sold for $250 overnight, so that's $52.50 out of $80. I haven't even listed the basketball or the 2 or 3 football cards. Well, I listed the LeBron Michael. I listed that Selden. I don't think I listed any of the other Kobe's or MJ's, or there was like a Darius Garland color rookie. So that was fun. That was a fun dollar box. And it gives me like a lot of excitement for this Sunday show. I'll be set up with my own bargain boxes in Janesville, Wisconsin on Sunday, July 3rd. So I'm excited to set up because it's been a couple weeks since I set up at the Rockford show, and I did dollar boxes. So I'm bringing completely fresh inventory. So if anybody is watching, listening, that's dug through my boxes, this is going to be all new, for the most part. I probably, because I've got a few quarter boxes back here that I'll probably that are, I think, new from January. Haven't seen too many shows, so I'll throw those in. But for the most part, I'll have all fresh quarter boxes. So that'll be fun. So looking forward to that. Let's go back to the chat. We've got a whole bunch of chat here. So we've got Michael. What's up, Michael? John is with us. That's 70s Card Show. Abraham, good morning. Popping in to catch a little before I head to the office. Thanks for popping in. Dan says, did Frank give you a deadline? So I did. Yeah, I did some yard work yesterday. And I got to keep Frank happy. My neighbor Frank. I'm kind of now I'm a little nervous that I mowed too early. And what I mean by that is we haven't had much rain. We got some rain on Saturday. But Frank told me Frank puts out a rain gauge before it rains. He doesn't leave the rain gauge out, but he puts it out when there's rain in the forecast. Frank still gets the morning newspaper, by the way. So he's old school. Nothing wrong. I prefer, by the way, not knocking if you get subscription to the local newspaper. I think that's a good thing. It is a little old school. But he was telling me that the paper boy quit and they haven't found a replacement. So he didn't know if he was going to get the paper. And I did notice as I took the dog for a walk yesterday around lunchtime, I saw newspapers in driveways, which meant it was probably late because usually they come by 7. And if the papers are still in the driveway at 11, they're hustling. Or the opposite of hustle. They're not hustling. They're overwhelmed, short staffed on the paper routes. So I'm a little worried because we only had a little bit of rain, 1/4 inch, according to Frank's rain gauge. And I mowed, and it really didn't need mowed, but I wanted to keep it. I got to keep up with Frank, keeping up with the Franks. But now it's oof. Sometimes when you mow and you haven't had rain, it's gonna brown out. So I'm gonna, after this, I'm gonna set some sprinklers up to make sure that it doesn't brown, because there are a lot of brown, especially in the back. The very back just gets sunburned. My grass in the very backyard gets a lot of sun, and it browns out really quick. Even if we do get even when I do run the sprinklers and if it rains. Mark is with us from Jersey. Good morning. David is with us. What's up? Rich says a nice mix, peanut butter crackers, lightly salted cashews, and a bottle of Dasani. That's what Rich is having for breakfast. I'm having my coffee. This is just Dunkin' today. I was running low. My wife was at the grocery store, said, hey, do you need anything? And I'm like, ooh, get some coffee. Just grab Dunkin'. And then I'll have she also picked up some pistachio muffins. Oh man, are they good. Now I prefer our Quick Trip that's just down the street. They have them, but they're poor man's pistachio muffins. One of our grocery store chains, it's the expensive grocery store chain. So we only go there if we need something that only they have. So it's a treat when I get pistachio muffins from the Metcalf's Market. Because I've only been there once or twice. It's only if I'm instructed to go to the Metcalf's and pick up something. So Metcalf's, they have the best pistachio muffins. But these pistachio muffins my wife picked up over the weekend are from Hy-Vee, and they're up there. They may be neck and neck with the Metcalf's pistachio muffins. So that's what I'm having for breakfast after this show. Cooter, what is up? TD says you killed it on that box, talking about the dollar box. Check out the video. It's on my YouTube channel. Greatest dollar box I've dug through. And I'm hoping that they are in Janesville with the dollar boxes in tow so I can dig some more. Let's see. Victor, what is up, Victor? Herman, good morning. Dollar box sloppy seconds. That's what it was. And I'm gonna make sure to get there early next time. Scott says, love the IHSA shirt. My dad was a football coach, so I saw that logo all the time growing up. Yes, sirree. This is from my softball announcing days. I did play-by-play for the IHSA state softball championships for, gosh, 12 years from 2000. I think 2008 was my first year. And then the most recent year I did, I think, was, well, right before COVID, 2019. We didn't have one in 2020. I turned it down in 2021, didn't come back in 2022. So, and I just don't keep up with it enough. But I've got a closet full of IHSA polos. And it's funny because I worked in radio for 12 years, 15 years. And so I had these shirts because I, worked in, an official capacity for the IHSA during those weekends. And I also dabbled. I did one football state championship, and I was basically like the advanced stats guy. And then I did that for quite a few basketball tournaments as well in Peoria. So I would, when I was still in radio, and so the IHSA gets like a bad rap from like most people, especially coaches. I remember going to a summer basketball shootout in Galesburg, and I went up to talk to a couple coaches, and one coach I wasn't familiar with. He wasn't really from our area, and he saw the logo, and he just kind of gives me a, like, what the hell are you doing here? What's the IHSA doing here? It's like, I'm not with the IH. It's just a shirt. I'm with the radio. So don't scowl at me. ATX Treasure Chest, what is up? Good morning. John says, do you think the dealer learned from that dollar box, or are they okay with the huge bargains? I'm not sure. So here's the thing. It's actually the dealer is it's 5-Star Cards, who's basically the official group subber of the show. And so like I don't know if, because there was a ton of Bowman, I don't know if it's like cards that wouldn't gem, because they had like 35,000 cards, it was probably PSA, but they do PSA, SGC, CSG. So I don't know if it's just cards that couldn't gem. But the Willie Mays is still like, I mean, it's a $40 card, or possibly more. It sold really fast for $40. So I don't know if those slipped in, or if they're like, we don't care. I don't know. I will ask next month or this weekend if I see them. And I kept saying, these are really good dollar boxes, without saying, why are these really good dollar boxes? I just kept saying, these are really good dollar boxes. And they're like, yeah, we've got some cards that are worth a lot more than $1 in there. Yes, you do. Next question. Why? But I love it. Keep them coming. Keep them coming. But John, and the funny thing is, John, there were no 70s cards. There were just, I pulled the Willie Mays, at least when I got there at noon. There was the Willie Mays and the Willie Stargell 69. Everything else was modern. And for the most part, the baseball boxes were very heavy, like 2017 Bowman Chrome and 2017 Bowman paper. Like, I would say 80 to 85, when I got there, 80 to 85% was Bowman Chrome from 2017. And then it was like, all of a sudden I'd see the 83 Fleer sticking out. Like, what's this? Holy crap. And then you'd get to a pocket where there's 5 or 10 cards from the 80s, and they're like Mattingly rookies and Canseco. It was kind of weird, but yeah, like 80. And that's when I got there. And I know from people reaching out to me that 200 to 300 cards were pulled. But I'm interested to get the answers. Why are your dollar box? Why are you doing this? Let's see. Rich says, and some sugar crumble challah. Love it. Let's see. Rich says, Mark, so good to see you somewhere other than Garfield. John says, cost of shipping on the 69 Mays. Cost of shipping on the 69 Mays, I don't know, because it's going to vary. It'll be bubble mailer. So it's probably going to be between $3 and $4. Rich says, Mark actually worked for me way back before I moved to DFW. Interesting. That's very cool. Very cool. And thank you, Mark. I appreciate that. Let's see where. Oh, I skipped. Chat skipped ahead. ATX says, I got the same kind of deal with a box of 68-69 hockey at the show this weekend. 225 cards for $50. Sold 7 first couple hours after starting, listing for $32. And it's weird. It's really weird that these bargain boxes are absolutely loaded. Not just my experience, your experience, Zach and Porter at the show they went to on Sunday, pulling a Dennis Eckersley rookie card for a dime. Like, these bargain boxes are loaded. And I'm curious, like, is it just people wanting to get out? Like, is it not knowing the real value? And like, my dollar box guy, I know they know the real value. But I don't get it. And no wonder why people and I mentioned this on the show review on Sunday, like, everybody's raving about the bargain boxes. Well, we're pulling 69 Mays and Mattingly rookies and all this. No wonder. Sandberg rookies. Richie was a great boss. Jenny says a 69 Willie Mays sells for $40 while people are out paying $30K for some prospect. I know, isn't it crazy? Mark and Rich officially have the Bowstream relationship record. Diego, what is up? Good morning. Victor says, how far is Janesville from Madison? So Janesville, Victor, is closer to you than Madison. Janesville is about 30 minutes south of Madison. So from the Sheraton Hotel to Janesville Holiday Inn, 30 minutes. And it's right on the interstate. So I would assume you'd be taking, is it 90 that goes out to Rosemont and Belvedere, Schaumburg, 94 and 90. I always get the interstates mixed up. But that interstate, whatever gets you to Rockford, just go to Rockford, jump on 39, and really, I don't even think you have to make any turns. It just kind of it just happens as you're driving. It just happens to turn into Interstate 39 to take you north to Madison, and Janesville's right there, 30 minutes shy of Madison. So, and it's a real easy drive for me. I just pop on the Beltline here in Madison, jump on the interstate, and it's the hotel where it's at is right on the interstate. In Janesville, Wisconsin. That's this Sunday, 9 to 3. Let me see. I'm promoting. I'm not promoting the show, but I'm promoting my table at the show. So I should probably know what the location is. Janesville Card Show. I think it's the Holiday Inn. It is. It's the Holiday Inn Express Janesville Conference Center, 3100 Wellington Place. And that's, again, it's just off the interstate in Janesville. Let's see. And the promoters of that show are Mike and John. They run the Rockford show that I always do. Let's see. I listen every day. Tuesday and Thursday, I listen live. Other days, I listen when I get to work. Let's see. Mark says, I worked for Richie in the early 90s. I get the morning newspaper on Sunday and Wednesday. It gives me complete access to the website as well for the Dallas Morning News. It's funny, and Frank was complaining about he doesn't, and because many of Frank's quirks, Frank, by the way, is my neighbor. Many of his quirks remind me of my dad, and probably similar. My dad was probably a little older than Frank is right now. But I guess when I was growing up, my dad was this age, was Frank's age now. Anyway, many of the quirks, my dad would subscribe to the newspaper and he wanted it at X time and he didn't like it when it was late. And when he read it, he complained that there's nothing in this newspaper. And that was 25 years ago. And I'm sure the same was said 50 years ago. Oh, there's nothing in this newspaper. So I find some of the quirks very funny. One quirk, I was looking out the window, my patio, and Frank had a tape measure, and he had planted a couple of, what are they, like, I don't know if they're basically like a Christmas tree type tree, shrub, it's kind of like just a one of those small Christmas tree looking trees. And he was measuring with a small tape measure how tall his tree was, and he told me how much it had grown in the last year. Grew like 6 inches or whatever in a year. So I love quirks of various people. I have many quirks of my own, so I'm not judging. I just find it entertaining. Jenny says there's not really such a thing as mowing too early. You want to care more about the length and mow only a third of the grass height when you mow. Turkey Cards misses the days of getting newspapers. In Texas, there is really never too early when the temps go above 100. Your wife should gently suggest to Frank that she has a buyer for his house. I was down to just Sundays. My fear is, what if it's a bad neighbor? Because Frank's a good neighbor. He's just quirky. And I don't have any bad neighbors. It's a good neighborhood. Rich says, I was down to just Sundays, but the DMN said Wednesdays would be no extra price. Sadly, I think that price explosion on houses has passed. It has. Within the last couple of weeks, the housing market explosion has, which for my wife's sanity is kind of good. She's not, going 110 miles an hour, 18 hours a day. Let's see. John says, if it were me, Frank would wake up to an open house sign with balloons in his front yard. Dan says Costco blueberry muffins are his favorite. Rich, I started looking at variations last night. Herman's got a new project. Victor adds Costco blueberry muffins delicious. Was summer in that shootout? Who is Summer and what is the shootout? Let's see. Mark says, or what was I talking about? So sometimes when I read chats, it's something I was talking. I'm so behind that I'm like 5 minutes before what I was talking about. Mark says, I used to get the Sunday New York Daily News for the complete baseball stats. That's what I missed. So when I worked in radio and I did play-by-play high school basketball, I was like a stat nerd. I would copy every morning's. The Peoria Journal-Star had the most amazing high school basketball coverage for our region. And so I would make copies of all the box scores. And then I created a spreadsheet for the teams that I did play-by-play for, and I would track my own stats. And typically it's just points. And sometimes if there was a story, I could get rebounds. Like John Johnson had 17 rebounds against Manual. So they had awesome coverage. And now it's like you open it up and it's disappointing. There's no box scores. And I worked in newspaper and I understand like people want to know the stories and I get it. But for me as a reader, especially of the sports page, I don't want to read game recaps. Just give me the box score and, John Johnson, 3 touchdowns and 200 yards rushing last night against whatever team. I don't care how the game, I don't want a breakdown of in the first quarter, John Johnson scampered a 78-yard touchdown and gave Anawan a 7-0 lead. And in the ensuing kickoff, Jerry Jarrett, there's a wrestling name. Jerry Jarrett returned a kickoff 91 yards to even up the score at 7-7 as the final horn sounded in the second quarter. I don't care about the blah, 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 blah. Give me some personal interest stories. I would totally read a newspaper if they provided personal interest stories, and you just don't have that. Give me the background of Jerry Jarrett. The kid that ran the 91 yards back. Tell me about his perfect SAT score, or he saved a family from a burning house. I love those personal interest stories, like behind the boring stats. So that's my and that's why I like The Athletic, which I need to read more because I subscribe to it. They have interesting stories. It's not just the same old stuff like game recaps and boring stats. It's personal interest. And I like here's the redraft from 10 years ago. If we were to redo the draft based on what we know now in hindsight. Like I love those, the what ifs, and The Athletic does a really good job at like, what if the Cubs didn't trade for Rick Sutcliffe in 1984? And going down these, this rabbit hole of different scenarios. I love that type of stuff. But the boring gamers just bores me. Jenny says, next time you'll have to do your what's in the box on your morning show so you can show the cards while you're talking of this box. That's a good idea. I have the bulk box. Maybe I'll do that tomorrow morning because I do want to get those listed. And that's why I know somebody mentioned that you're going head to head against Hobby Palooza. And I needed to get that video up because I needed to get those. I wanted to get those listed, and I have a busy week this week, and I'll share why. But I do have that bulk box, and I want to get those cards listed on eBay as well. So that, Jenny, that's a good idea. Maybe tomorrow morning we'll go through the bulk box together. I think that's a great idea. Although I'm going to we'll do that tomorrow. Victor, what is up? The rookie card specialist is with us. Jenny says it's people not wanting to sit on stuff. They don't have the space you do for 32 million cards. Probably only 3 million. And I'm running out of space down here. Dan says 90. Oh, great. I might have to stop by. I'll be in Madison on Saturday, Sunday. Might stop on the way home on Sunday. Awesome. Yes. Card show runs 9 to 3 on Sunday in Janesville. Let's see. ATX says that's a great idea. So we'll do the bulk box tomorrow morning. Rich says it's also dealers make a decision as to what dollars they want to deal with for showcase cards, eBay, etc. And does that card fit in with what they sell as a matter of course? There you go. Let's see. Cooter says, I really think there are a lot of dealers who focus on the graded cards when they buy and cast off raw cards they don't think can get a high grade given grading costs. I think in this dollar box scenario, I think that's exactly what it was. Let's see. Rich says, Bo, I think your comment about sets last night was very interesting. I feel the same way when Bo does not start his show on time. So what Rich is, that comment is in regard to Herman and Kin show last night. Check it out, 3B Collection on YouTube, talking about set building. So Herman just finished his 1972 top set. Now, he wanted to build that set because it was his birth year. And I made a comment in the chat that I have no interest in building sets from my birth year moving forward. A lot of people have, and now that I think about it, thought about it, a lot of people that I know that do like a run of sets from their birth year were born before the 80s, whether it be in the 60s or 70s. But once the 80s babies aren't really building sets because there's just, like Rich mentioned in the chat last night, well, you could buy, when you were a kid, you could buy the complete sets. You couldn't do that in the 70s, 60s. So, I don't know. I don't think 82 was when I was born. I don't know if they had complete sets. I know that I think 85, you could buy a complete set. Maybe, and Rich, I'm sure, knows the answer to this. What year did Topps start making the factory sets? I'm thinking 85. I know 86 had a factory set and moving forward. So it's like you can just go out and buy, and there's no fun in that. I think the fun in building sets is actually building them and not just buying them outright. Baseball card curmudgeon, what is up? Good morning to you. Rich says, wait a second, 32 people, only 6 likes. What's wrong with us? We're up to 30. We've got 9 likes. Hit the like button if you haven't already, and subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. Oh, Dan. Thank you. Mike Summer in the 3-point shootout many years before you did IHSA games. Yes. Yeah. So, because I think Mike's even older than I think Mike's a few years older than I am. Mike Summer, Wax Pack Hero, he was in the IHSA state finals 3-point shootout. And that was in I think 94 is when he was 94, 96, somewhere in there. So yeah, long before, I think the first A team that I covered in play-by-play, one of the first years I was in radio, early in my radio career, made it to the state final. So that was the first time I ever broadcasted at state, was probably 2004. And then I didn't even start working. I guess it was only a few years later that I started working the games for the IHSA, maybe in like 09, 08, somewhere around there. Let's see. Jenny says he hasn't said standard envelope postage rates yet. Yes, we're 30 minutes in. That's par for the course. 30, 40 minutes in, and we'll get to the topic of the day. Cliff, good morning. Rich says some prefer this to eBay. I don't buy and sell on eBay. John says comps on the Jerry Jarrett. If only sports stories started with news of the player's quirky neighbor. Abraham, since we're talking background stories, that former UW walk-on quarterback that started for the Mallards Friday as Dan Wright goes to Western Iowa Community College. Interesting. So Abraham was telling me he was at the Madison Card Show this past Saturday. He was at the Madison Mallards game Friday night. The Mallards, by the way, are they're in I think it's the Northwoods League, which is a collegiate summer league. For college, a collegiate summer league for college players. There's redundancy there. So it's a collegiate summer league. The Madison Mallards, Pete Alonso played here for the Madison Mallards in, I think, 2014. Nico Horner was here, and I think, would that have been 2017 or yeah, it must have been 2017. So he was telling me that there was a bunch of UW, University of Wisconsin athletes with signs cheering on the pitcher who was a walk-on quarterback at Wisconsin. So there it is. Dan Wright was his name. So the Madison Mallards play in the what used to be the home of the Madison Muskies, which was a minor league affiliate for the Oakland A's for several years. I think they were a Cardinals affiliate for 1 year. And I think 94 was their last year. I think they were in existence from like 82 to 94. Jose Canseco made his debut here. Ron Coomer, I was wearing a Wisconsin hoodie at one of the Club 400 events that Ron Coomer was at. And he goes, "Oh, Wisconsin, I played in Madison." Played for the Muskies in the minor leagues. Ed says the National early 90s was the best sports publication I've read. A little ahead of its time, would have been perfect for the digital age. I've never even heard of that. Interesting. Victor says, great show, Herman. Mark, 1974. Oh, wow, 74? I had no idea. I thought like mid 80s. So 74 through J.C. Penney. Interesting. 74, and then Rich adds, I think maybe 84, 85. Donruss 1982 was first for them. So was 74 like mail order, and then did Tops, was that Tops, or was that just like a secondary through J.C. Penney or whatever? Or was that actually, did Tops actually produce a factory set in 74? Let's see. Victor says, I started to build sets of the Cubs opening roster from the year I was born in 1970. Love it. Mark says, I'm a dinosaur. I have complete sets of 1954 through 91, working on 53, and 52 is a bit out of my price range. The National was a one-year wonder. Read about how they blew $50 million. Wow. JCPenney catalog. For 1974, and yes, Topps did factory sets that year. Interesting. I did not realize that it went back that far. Now, the thing with I'm sure a Topps factory set from 1974 isn't as attainable as, say, a 1987 Topps factory set. I bet it would probably. I wonder if there is anything. If there's one for sale, how much would a 1974 Topps factory set be if there was one out there for sale right now? And it would probably be significantly more than if you went out and bought the singles to build the set. That's just an assumption on my part. So we're 35 minutes in. Let's talk about postage, the fun stuff, right? Talk about, let's see, as info, a week ago, I was selling an average of 3 to 5 cards per day on eBay. I opened up a starter store a week ago and haven't sold a single card yet. Any advice, or is it an algorithm thing? That's a good question. And curious. I'm wondering when you were so here's something that I've picked up on. When I list cards, I sell more cards. Oh, Rich dropping a link. Let's see if I can open it. I've had trouble in the past opening links on my side. Oh, there it is. 74 Tops factory set. Buy it now for $1,000. $9.95. How much is shipping? 25. So a little over 1,000. Plus, you're going to have to pay tax if you're if you have state sales tax. So going to cost you over $1,000. And with 74, I'm sure it's going to cost you significantly less to build the 74 set. I have actually my stack. I used to have probably 1,000 singles from 74, and they've dwindled down. So I'm going to go back to Victor's question. I've noticed that when I list more, I sell more. And I know that sounds obvious, but it seems like I sell more than when I am stagnant. So have you listed in the last, since you opened the store, have you listed any cards? And I would say if you haven't listed anything in the last week, that's probably why you haven't sold anything. But if you have listed, say the same amount of cards that you were listing before you opened that store, then that's kind of odd, and it maybe is an algorithm thing. But I guess that would be my question. Jenny says it's just ridiculous chasing rookies at these prices. I'm the same as Bo. If I don't list in the store, I don't sell. Completed sale. So let's check out this completed sale. Close that window out. Let's see. Victor says I list 59 cards a week, or should I split it up 10 listings for 5 days? I don't like split it up at all. I just list when I have the time. And I do it full time, so I have the time. But I guess when I was doing it as a side hustle, there would be times where I wouldn't list anything for a week or two, and then all of a sudden I'd get 100 or 200 or 300 listings done. So I don't think that really affects it. But I will say, when it comes to the algorithm, is the more activity you have within your eBay, as far as listings, listing, sending offers, accepting offers, activity, any activity, you're going to probably see a spike. And maybe it's a subtle spike. But the more activity you have within eBay, and it may not be actual sales, it may be, updating a listing, adding specifics, whether it's recommended or required, and all of that stuff. So that could be. And eBay's quirky. Sometimes, I'll go a few days and last Friday, and I think there was like an algorithm, like something funky went on in the back end of eBay, because I noticed like my Friday sales were just like dropped significantly, like more than an average drop. And it's not because it's a Friday or because it's summer. It was something, if it were, I think I went from 75 sales per day and I sold like 20. Now, if it was 40, I could understand, well, it's Friday, it's, it's quirky, but it went way down. So sometimes there's that. So it is kind of weird sometimes. And now today, you haven't sold a card in a week. After going 3 to 5 a day, you may sell 12 cards today. And that's just kind of how it is. It's kind of weird like that. Jenny says she'd split it 10 per day personally. And I guess I would probably agree with that. I would definitely agree with that, because like I said, that just goes hand in hand with activity. I think if you're logging activity on a daily basis, whether it's listing or updating, it's going to help you. So if you do split, instead of doing 59 cards in one sitting, split that up over 5 days or 6 days. Rich says, I bet eBay has an algo which brings more interest to your store when you list new items. I think it probably does. Because I will see a spike in sales when I list new cards. Time to list is my issue. Amen to that. Amen to that. I have two 74 sets. Just can't bring myself to sell a complete vintage set. Looks like a sold listing that Rich said $516. And then one sold for $750. Okay, so between $500 and $800. It looks like those factory sets are going for. Those are really cool. I've never seen one of those. That's really cool. Jenny says people searching by newly listed ending sooner. You got variety. Yep, and that's kind of where, what I notice is the most popular search on eBay is ending soonest and newly listed. And so when you're in even buy it now, and if you have them reoccurring, and so they're at the end of the 30-day cycle, they renew automatically. There's still a clock. There's still a 30-day clock. And that's going to, just the way the calendar falls, it's not going to be, if you list on a Monday, it's not necessarily going to be that 30 days not going to be up on a Monday, because it could be a 28-day month, could be a 30-day month, 31-day month. If you list every day, you're going to have, staggered ending times. So people that are looking at ending soonest, they'll see it at a different time. And I think that's sometimes when I see a bigger spike in my sales, I think it's, the ending soonest. I have more, maybe I listed 600 items on this day, and then the 30-day cycle ends, and all of a sudden 600 items are ending soonest. And it could be even more because, on a monthly basis, that 30-day clock is resetting for, thousands of items. Mark is with us. Good morning, Mark Hoyle. Jenny says, I list a lot on Wednesday through Friday because then they end Friday through Sunday the next month, but not necessarily. Because of the way the calendars fall. So just be cognizant of, especially like in, you go from 31 days in January to 28 days in February. So your days are going to be off. Let's see. My biggest listing day is Friday to catch newly listed searches and then catch again on Sundays the following month. I build 74 set from packs as a kid. Barry, what is up? Good morning. When an item ends on eBay and doesn't sell, do you make changes to the description or price on the item? Typically not. Because I have so many listings, sometimes I'll do like a quick scan, or if I'm pulling cards out and I see like this card should have, maybe I have it still as weekly, the week of, I've got a lot of first Bowman Chromes and it's like, these should be selling, but I have them priced at release day prices, where this is no longer a $10 card. It's a $5 card, or maybe even a $3 card. So I've got to adjust. But typically when when items don't sell, because 99% of the time I do buy it now. And so they're just continuously relisting. And I have items that sell. In fact, I just sold something yesterday. And I that it's sold. What it was, but it's been in my store for like 2 years. So that's 24 cycles of the 30-day listing, and eventually it'll sell. And that's kind of how I see things. But there are instances where, get a bunch of Bowman at release, and those cards have a premium on release week, where this $10 card is now a $4 card. So then I'll go back and I'll, find those listings, this Joshua Baez is no longer a $1.50 card. It's a $2.50 card or a $3.50 card. Let's see. Low Roller says some new football cards available at Target. Very cool. George says a bit late. He got home from watching the new Top Gun. What's up, George? I have nothing but rave reviews on the new Top Gun film. I have not heard one poor review to Top Gun. So I'm not a huge Top Gun fan. Like, it's a good movie. I enjoyed it, but I'm not like, so my big movies from around that era, Stand By Me, The Goonies, Back to the Future, those movies I can watch over and over and over again. Ferris Bueller, some of the John Hughes films. Top Gun's not one of them. I'll every once in a while I'll pop it on, but it's just not something that highly interests me. So when it's available on a streaming service, I'll watch it. And I'll probably enjoy it. But again, it's not going to be something that I rewatch over and over. Let's see. Mark says 74 was the first set I completed as a kid. Just inventory. What is up? Good morning. Jenny says the calendar always falls the same 4 weeks as 28 days, no matter the date. Wednesday to Wednesday, 4 weeks, 28 days. Add 2 days for 30 days is a Friday. It was a great movie. Nothing bad to say about it for me either. Just Inventory says I've had to refund about 10 to 15 cards the past few months because they didn't show up in the mail. How easy, hard is it to do the claim, or I guess find out which ones I've refunded for loss return? So it is kind of annoying. I do have the insurance right here. So here's the insurance claim for eBay standard envelope. So there it is. That's the claim form. You will have to provide, I think, a photo of the claim, and then maybe a photo of the listing or something. And then everything else is pretty self-explanatory. If it's been 30 days and you make that claim, you will get your money back. Like, I think in all of the claims I've received my money back within like 24 hours. So that's the claim. Let's see. The calendar always falls the same. We read that one. Boom Slang. I pulled out a box last night marked 1972, and it was my old cards from when I was a kid, and it has like 4,500 72 Topps baseball, so I should be able to complete my binder. Wow. That is awesome. Michael says the new Top Gun absolutely rules. It's the first pure fun movie I've seen in a long time. I've seen it 3 times in the theater. That is awesome. And Rich says that's a lot of 72s to Boom Slang. So eBay standard envelope rates are going up, which I am not surprised that there's going to be an increase in just expect postage rates. I mean, I think we've seen postage rates increase at least once a year for the last several years, probably. So I think we'll see. So we're going to see a rate increase on certain. We've already seen one. It didn't affect stamps or I think it only affected like priority. I can't remember, but it did not affect stamps or standard envelope in January, this past January. But standard envelopes will go up. Stamps are going up July 10th, so 2 weeks away. Standard envelope prices for 1 ounce are going from 53 to 57 cents. A 2 ounce are going 73 cents to 81 cents. And 3 ounces are going from 93 cents to $1.05. I'm not surprised, and I think we'll see another general postage increase ahead of the holidays. It'll be the holiday. So here's what's going to happen. They've done this. The post office has done this the last 2 years. They'll raise the in like November for the holiday rush, and then in December, right after Christmas, they will bring the prices back to normal. Back to where they were, and like, hey, and we've got a month in of the higher postage rates, and then all of a sudden, poof, you're going back. But then a month later, in the end of January, they raise the rates, and then we complain. So we're happy for a month that the postage rates actually went down. So I would expect. I think standard envelope will, since it's going up in July, I don't think we'll see an increase at the end of the year. Hopefully not, I guess. But I think we will see another increase next year. And I won't be surprised. And I think I wrote this in the description. I think that the standard envelope is going to hit $1 for 1 ounce by the end of 2023. I think there's too large a disparity between the standard envelope with tracking and the bubble mailer, where it's, between $3.15 and $4 on bubble mailers, but you can get tracking service for just 57 cents. I think that's going to be closer to $1 by the end of next year. So I'm not surprised that there was a standard envelope increase. I was a little surprised by the heavier increases. The 2 ounce went up 8 cents, and the 3 ounce went up 13. Am I doing the math? 7 and 12 cents. So from 93 cents to $1.05. So that takes effect July 10th. So be prepared for envelope increases. I'll have to remember just so I can get all of my shipping done on July 9th. Those rates take effect and save, 100, that could save me between $4 and $10 maybe, by getting ahead on the shipping. So let's go into the chat. Let's see. So when gas prices drop back to normal, that means the postage rates will drop. Nope. Nope. Flawed thinker, I bought a card from eBay and waited a month to receive it. So I contacted the seller and he sent me a refund. Then it showed up the next day. That's happened to me as a seller, where it's like, okay, it's been 3 weeks. Here's your money back. And then 3 weeks, it's been like a month and a half. Oh, by the way, that card showed up, and I'm like, just keep it. It was $1 or $2 or $3. Let's see. I offered him to send him money with a little extra, but he declined, saying not worry about it. I'm now a repeat buyer for his generosity. That's very cool. And that's kind of how I would approach it as well. It's been long enough. And it's as a seller, it's just part of doing business and providing good customer service. Ken says, what's up, Ken? Time to raise the prices in my free shipping items. And so, yeah, I'll tackle, I get the question. So how is this going to affect your prices in your eBay store? Will my prices go from $1.50 to $1.60? No. So basically I increased my prices on the base price of buy it now listings from 99 cents to $1.50 last year. Last summer, maybe. And I did that, fully knowing that, I did it for 2 reasons. I knew that postage rates were good because they always do. But also, from using stamped envelopes from my stamp guy for 38 cents per envelope up to standard envelope, 53 cents plus 2.5. So basically 55, 56 cents. So an increase of about 18 cents. So now a 99-cent free shipping listing in my eBay store is actually a loss for me. I think it's a 6 cents net loss. So that's why I raised from 99 cents to $1. And that $1 takes into account, future postage rate increases. And I can certainly tolerate 53 to 57 cents. And I can probably go up to, maybe another nickel to now I got to do the math. So 4 cents. So yeah, if it increases another dime, then I'm going to have to, start considering raising those low base prices. However, where was I going with this? The base prices. However, how it will affect is the lowest offers I take. Now, I have my base prices are $1.50 or best offer. The reason I have best offer is not because I want to sell these cards for $1 or $1.10. It's because if somebody wants to buy 50 cards, they get the 25% off. But if they want 50 cards, I'm going to give them better than a 25% discount. I'll give them a 40% discount. So somebody wants to come in and buy 50 or 60, if they're $1.50 cards, you can 99 cents and, just send me off 9 cents for all those cards. And I will certainly sell those to you at that price point. That's why I have the best offer initiated for cheap cards. But somebody comes in and I have a $1.50 card and they offer me $1 and I counter it at $1.30. And that's my base. That's my lowest that I'll go. They counter back at $1.10. I counter back at $1.30. If they counter back again, I'm just going to decline the offer or counter back at $1.30. Usually if it's back and forth, I'm not going to waste my time, over pennies. So that's kind of where it is. But now it's like, okay, $1.30, maybe it's $1.35 to take into account, that 4-cent increase on 1 ounce standard envelope. Jenny says, I agree, Ken. I've been planning for this increase with the price of fuel. I knew it was coming. I've been pricing for an increase. Barry says there are many different ways to photograph cards for eBay. Can you go over which is known as the best or top way of getting your cards sold on eBay? Man, that's a loaded question. Photos, depending on the card, I think some people put too much stock into you don't want a blurry photo. You do want close-up photos, but if it's $1.50, and again, I'm from the standpoint of bulk, cheap base card listing, not $100 chrome refractors or fancy autographs and shiny things. This is $1.50 cards, $5 cards. Photos aren't the end-all be-all. I think some people put a little too much time and effort into photographs on the listings. Best or top way to getting your card sold, it's volume. Listing is as much as you can, and I know there's a fine line because most people don't do this full time, and it's just kind of a side hustle. And the more you list, the more you sell. Do you have the time to list and sell all of those? So it's kind of, whatnot. But that's really a loaded question. I don't have a good answer because it's all up to the individual in your circumstance, in your situation. So yeah, I mean, I would have to know more about the situation to provide a better insight. Really new to selling on eBay and would appreciate your methods for photographing cards. So when it comes to terms with photographs, phone. And the best way is, iPhone or Android, whatever you use. I list on the app. I think listing on a desktop. Now, if you're just listing single cards, I think a desktop is very clunky and it's going to take too much time. I can hammer out listings really fast on my phone. You can take pictures right inside the app. If you're getting a lot of glares and from the lights, dim lights, or use a photo box, you can get them for about $30 on Amazon. But that's the best way. Do it on your phone, and everything's self-contained right inside the eBay app for listing. John says, how do you adjust thousands of listings for postal increase? I don't. I'm sure there's a bulk edit listing for I have free shipping in all of my listings, so it would have to be off the price. So like when I increased my base price on cards from 99 cents to $1.50, those 99-cent cards didn't change. They're just grandfathered in. So there's still 99 cents in my store, and I eat that long, which again, it's like 6. So it's, I compare it to the Costco chicken. People come in for the rotisserie chicken. Some people will come in for a $5 rotisserie chicken, and that's a loss for Costco, but they're hoping out of 100, only a few people only take the Costco chicken. But the other 95 people will shop, and spend $100 or more. And that's kind of my hope on the 99-cent cards, is people just don't buy a single card. Does it happen? Every day I do a 99-cent sale on a single card and eat that nickel loss, dime loss. And so that's just a loss for my store. Michael says, I sure hope you're wrong on that prediction. Chris, good morning. You guys are lucky having the eBay standard envelope. I can't believe they still haven't implemented that here in the Canada platform. I feel bad for Canada with, the shipping costs. US to Canada is outrageous. No Target stores in Canada. Or is it Walmart? There's one of the two retailers is not in Canada. Jenny says bulk edit. Ken says I won't actually raise existing prices, just stuff I list in the future will be higher. Yep, and that's exactly how I'm handling it. Cooter says looks like the USPS cut the eBay discount from 5 cents to 3 cents. Jenny says you want just a non-blurry photo that doesn't have all these ads in it. I get the wanting to brand their business, but it's excessive and takes away from the card. I didn't even think about the all the excess stuff in a photo. I just take, when I'm listing through my phone and taking photos, it's just the cards itself. Like with the Willie Mays, it had that surface, I don't know what you would call it. I think I put surface dents in the listing description, because I could actually feel it was almost like the Trout rookie I had, where you could actually feel the indentation on the card from the binder ring. And it was very similar, but it was in an odd spot where I don't think it would be in a binder ring. Well, maybe it could be if it was in the far corner. It could very well be. But anyway, I tried to get up close, and when I was doing the video, you could actually see when the light hit it right, you could see it, but I couldn't figure out how to actually get that on the photo because I wanted to, disclose that, that damage on the card. Let's see. The Media Marauder. What is up? Good morning. I hate all the watermarks and logos on the photos. Amen. I completely agree. If you ain't got a coin beside it, you don't own it. LOL. So yeah, eBay standard envelope prices. 1 ounce is going from 53 to 57 cents. 2 ounces, 73 to 81 cents. And 3 ounces is going up 93 cents to $1.05. So that's what I had for today. Oh, tonight, I said why I was going to be busy. Heading down to Beloit, Wisconsin this evening. The South Bend Cubs are in town. So I'm hitting up ABC Supply Stadium in Beloit. Going to do some graphing. I was putting some cards together to take down some cards that I didn't get autographs at spring training. So I've got a couple more. Fortunately, so the Myrtle Beach Pelicans and the South Bend Cubs team sets are out. So I ordered them last week. Myrtle Beach was really fast at shipping, and I received those a few days ago. So there are some players. Myrtle Beach is low A for the Cubs. South Bend is high A. So some of the Myrtle Beach Pelicans are now on the South Bend roster. So I have those. And then the South Bend, I just received a notification this morning that my South Bend Cubs team sets are on their way and will be delivered today just in time. So excited to get those sets as well, and head down, do some autographing. My buddy Alex will be there as well. We'll do some graphing and watch some baseball tonight. South Bend Cubs, Beloit Sky Carp. I keep wanting to say Snappers. No longer the Snappers. It'll be my first Sky Carp game that I've attended, as they changed their name this year. Chris says we don't have Target stores anymore, but we do have Walmart. But card products there are very expensive. Bowman 2022, $50 Canadian. Yikes. But I don't I don't know how much that is in US dollars. I'm not up on the currency exchange. But it's 30. What was it here? $32, $32 US. Michael says, I think Canadians still get Toys R Us, if I recall correctly, so they aren't totally out on the losing end. George says, it is fitting that most coins are poker chips. It's all a gamble. I agree with that. Jenny, yes, thank you, Jenny. Hobby Hotline is tonight, 7 p.m. Who's on Hobby Hotline tonight? I never know. Sometimes I don't even know when I'm on the show. But I don't think I'm on I was just on, so I think I'm on in 2 weeks, maybe. I'm going into my chat. I wish Twitter had like a pinned DM, because I always have to go back and search. When am I on? 6:28 Tuesday. So tonight it's Drew, Sam, and Corey. So Drew from Let Me Get That Potograph, Sam from Sam's Stuff, and Corey Yamwax. That is Hobby Hotline tonight, 8 p.m. Central. Here on YouTube. Check it out. John says Canadians are happy, never pity them. They ride sleds in the ice pulled by dogs. Mark says, I saw cards in my local Barnes & Noble. Yes, Barnes & Noble started carrying, I think it's been a couple years now. Barnes & Noble actually started out just with like 1 or 2 baseball products, and now they're carrying quite a bit. Let's see. So $50 Canadian is $38 US. So it's slightly higher in Canada. Media Marauder says, cool. I used to have season tickets to the Piedmont Boll Weevils. Not sure what their name is now. Heisman Trophy winner Ricky Williams was on that team. Love the minor leagues. I did not realize Ricky Williams played minor league baseball. Very cool. Let's see. Victor says, have fun at the game. Do you get paid to be on Hobby Hotline? It is volunteer. John says he's been banned from Hobby Hotline until August. I don't agree. I think John's fibbing. I think John's fibbing on that. Porter has gotten his last few hanger boxes from Barnes & Noble. So that's what I had for today. Thanks for tuning in. Another awesome chat. Hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel. Tomorrow morning, I'll share my graphing exploits of the South Bend Cubs. We'll talk about that. Hopefully it doesn't rain. I want rain in Madison, but I don't want rain in Beloit. So I think there's a chance of rain at least here. So I'll share my South Bend Cub exploits, and then we'll go through tomorrow morning. We'll go through the bulk box I bought Saturday together. It was a 2-row shoe box, probably 1,000 cards, probably 800 quarter cards, and then probably another 200, maybe $300 cards. And I got it for $60. So I think it's a great deal. I haven't actually gone through the whole thing. I was kind of just, when I saw a few cards, I'm like, okay. I wonder what I could get this whole box for. And it was even less than what I expected. So we'll go through that together tomorrow morning. Thank you, Jenny, for that recommendation. So we'll go through the bulk box tomorrow morning live here on Hobby Evolution. Have a great Tuesday, and we'll chat tomorrow.